Anchors upsells it full. Welcome to the SlooPcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
All right, Jared, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Kyle, it's time for a bit of collegiate chaos. We crammed, if you watched us last year or listened to us last year, we basically took two of our shows and crammed them into this one show, which means we combined what used to be Collegiate Chaos and SlooPicks just into Collegiate Chaos. Now, why is any of that important? That's important because we need to go. We crammed 2 hour-long episodes into one 30-minute long episode. That's a new tradition. That's a good tradition. And let's get going.
Yep. Crack that beer, chug it down, and let's get going. Tier list.
I mean, chugging's not necessary.
All right, let's do our... Oh, I'm going to do our SlooPicks first? Or do you want to do it?
No. I just maybe forgot to open the tier list. That's all. No one pay attention to the man behind the curtain real quick.
There we go. Yeah.
I tell you what, let's go back to this screen. All right, Kyle, talk for a moment.
Sure. So, wow. Geez, thanks. So,
hey, when you need me to do it, I just start naturally
here.
Vamping. All right. When you need help, I just start doing it.
Yeah, we had some close games last weekend. Clemson, Troy, Georgia, escaping with a win there.
We're good now.
Oh, okay. Well, I was getting right into it, but sure. All right, here's our tier list. Oregon, Ohio State, Miami, LSU, Penn State, and Texas are in our S tier. USF, Notre Dame, Florida State, Georgia, South Carolina, and Arizona State. We're in our A tier. So how we do our tier list for those who haven't listened to us, S and A are combined to 12 teams, aka the 12-team playoffs. Any amount of teams could be an S or A tier, but both have to be combined with 12.
Yeah.
So Jared, let's just start off with the loss of Arizona State. Can
we start with S tier? For the sake of making the tier list not look like the jumbled mess that it already is, it would help if we started at the top. And I want to talk about Penn State, and I want to talk about Texas.
Okay. Oregon stays. They demolish Oklahoma State. Ohio State took care of business. Miami took
LSU
care of business.
Both look good.
Yep.
No concerns there.
And well, LSU, sure, they won 23-7 over Louisiana Tech. Is that taking care of business?
They still have a top 10 win, however.
They do, yes. Yep. So, and then Texas took care of San Jose State as well, thanks to the defense. Yes.
21 of their 28 first half points were directly off of turnovers. That needs to be said. I think their offense has some legitimate issues. And quite frankly, I think Penn State's offense also has, their defense is great. It was great before Knowles got there. Knowles is probably just going to make them even better. But their offense is still just lackluster. So I kind of put Texas and Penn State into a similar boat. Are their offenses right now, are their offenses good enough that we consider them S tier still? Or are they elite football teams? Are they actually favorites to win it all?
I'd say yes. I would say yes. Texas still is. I think they have the offense to get it done. Their defense obviously is going to keep them games. I think they can. Yes, I think ultimately Texas can. Yes, they got really good running backs. I really do like Texas running backs. Manning still needs to improve, and I'll just publicly say this. I'm tired of hearing Manning's young. He's going to get.
No, he's not.
This is his third year. This is his third year in college.
He doesn't get it this year. His belt.
Like when?
He's had starts under his belt. He has actual game reps under his belt. He is not that young. Sorry, no.
Yep, correct. They're on the edge to me on S to A tier, but I'll keep them on S tier one more week. We'll see how the future holds.
You feel the same about Texas. Penn State?
So Penn State, what's your thoughts about why
a lot? It's basically the same as Texas. I think they're just underperforming, and that I'm putting that mostly on their offense. Now, I really do like Penn State's running backs. Penn State does have a great running back room, but their passing game leaves a lot to be desired.
Drew Allers.
He also doesn't have
we're accustomed to seeing.
He also doesn't have much in the way of receivers to help him out in his defense.
Fair.
But the passing game is lacking.
Yes.
And
they took care of business 34-0 over Florida International. Yes, only 10 points in the first half, and then they laid it on the second half. I still keep them on S tier just because I think they have what it takes to win it all. I keep them in S tier for now.
All right, let's get down to A tier. We have Georgia, South Carolina, and Arizona State. Now, I want to talk about Arizona State within the larger context of the Big 12. Because, as this is essentially a playoff projection, if we remove Arizona State from the A tier, we are down to 4 conference champions, and we need 5 conference champions. So we need 5 conferences represented in either S or A. So I have basically I don't think anyone. We have USF up there, which represents the American Conference, and I don't think there's anyone outside of the American Conference.
I think
so. It basically has to come from the Big 12 at this point.
Yep, and at this point, it's got to be the Cyclones.
The Cyclones.
There's only
why?
Yep. I mean, they already have a top 20 victory over Kansas State in I guess it's week 0.
Yeah, granted, that's they. Kansas State has kind of shown that they weren't deserving of that rank since that loss.
Fair, but then if you look at the other teams, Utah and Texas Tech, they don't have as great of victories as Iowa State.
Not
Iowa State
Utah,
has
not Utah,
2 Power
BYU.
4.
But not that I
who
think
has BYU beaten? BYU.
Not anyone spectacular.
I still stand by my case. Iowa State, Kansas State, and Iowa, 2 Power 4 teams. Texas Tech hasn't beaten any Power 4 teams, and Utah beat a terrible UCLA team, and BYU beat a terrible Stanford team.
Have you seen how bad Texas Tech has beaten the admittedly terrible teams they've beaten? Have you seen how bad Texas Tech has beaten those teams?
Sure, but I don't know anything about them still. Like,
let me tell you this about Texas Tech. Let me tell you this about Texas Tech.
Go ahead and share your screen again, Jared.
It was my monitor or my camera.
Okay. Yes, they took care of business as they should, but
Texas Tech.
What did we learn from them?
Texas Tech won the transfer portal. That's what I'm going to tell you about Texas Tech. They outspent and out-recruited in the transfer portal this year. They're a totally new team. They are, and again, I will acknowledge that the teams they have beaten weren't impressive teams, but that they slaughtered both of those teams is impressive, especially when we have teams like Georgia and South Carolina and some of these other teams who have looked really unimpressive against really bad teams.
Sure, but I think right now, we'll see how they do in these next couple of weeks here. I think you can put them on that border there, in my opinion, border of maybe going to the A tier in our tier list here. But I got to go off of resume and how how the teams have done so far, and I got to give the edge to Iowa State right now over Texas Tech. Texas Tech stays in the B tier, but I mean, if Iowa State slips up, then up goes Texas Tech. Simple as that.
All right.
So that means that Arizona State, after losing this last weekend, falls down. So still in the hunt, still outside the playoff bubble, but I think they stay in the B tier.
Yeah, I mean, it is worth noting that their loss was a non-conference loss.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they're right in it. They're right in it. South Carolina beat South Carolina State. They stay
unimpressively.
They stay in the A tier. Yeah. I mean, more unimpressively is Georgia. I worry for Georgia, Jared. They struggled heavily over APG. They struggled. Their quarterback Stockton had to continue to throw well into the fourth quarter to put this game away.
It was not a good game against Austin Peay. Their week 1 wasn't impressive either.
No.
I'm kind of itching. I'm kind of itching to get Illinois up into A tier. Maybe this week's not the week to do it, but I am kind of itching to get Georgia, not necessarily Georgia out of A tier, but because I think we could make a good case for South Carolina as well. I think they have terrible offensive issues. I think Georgia has terrible offensive issues.
Yeah.
And I kind of got Illinois down here. Kind of got Illinois down here looking like they deserve a spot up in A tier.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
We're
going to stay status quo there.
Yes, I would say keep it for right now. Maybe some upsets this weekend. There's some interesting games here that would shake up our tier list here. But I think right now with how we have S and A tier, I like that. So again, for those that don't see the visual, S tier: Oregon, Ohio State, Miami, LSU, Texas, Penn State, 2 favorites to win it all in Jared and I's mind. And then in A tier, USF, Notre Dame, Florida State, Iowa State, South Carolina, and Georgia in no particular order.
All right, Kyle, we need to get through this next part very quickly. I have teams to potentially kick out of B tier and down into C tier.
Sure.
Michigan who lost, SMU who lost, and Florida who lost.
Sure. Let's talk about the winners. So Oklahoma up to B tier, okay. Utah up to B tier. No issues with that. I don't think there's any other teams looking at the list here that I think could potentially go up to B tier. So let's just keep B tier as it is. There.
Is that
we potentially move down or keep into B tier, as Jared said. Michigan, SMU, and Florida. So, what's your thoughts about SMU?
Well, as we've stated, I think the Big 12 is definitely going to place a team, but I think they're also definitely going to place one team. I like Texas Tech more than I like them. I like Arizona State more than I like them. I like Iowa State more than I like them. And their loss, unlike Arizona State's loss this past weekend, was a conference loss. They're 0-1 in conference, and I think you have to win that conference in order to make the playoffs if you're SMU.
No,
kind of knocking them out of the bubble for right now for me.
Their loss wasn't in conference. They lost to Baylor. SMU's in ACC.
Excuse me. I got confused on that. Excuse me for thinking that the Texas team's in the Big 12 for a moment. That's my bad. Okay. I still don't like them as even as a playoff bubble team, even from an ACC perspective. You got
Yeah, I
Miami
think there's-
and Florida State, who both look better right now. You got
And then you have
Clemson,
Clemson,
who
who's up
looks
there,
better
too.
right now. I'm
who
not
have
high on
offensive
SM.
issues as well, too.
Yeah.
So I'm fine moving SMU down. I have no issues moving SMU down.
All right. It kind of looks like I'm putting
honestly,
them
while
in
we're at
M
it-
tier, but I'm not.
While we're at it, let's just add Florida. Let's add Florida down there too.
Yeah. I mean, Florida has a chance to redeem themselves this week. They have a top 10 opponent.
They got almost a playoff run type of
Florida's schedule's a mess, but we don't have time. And Michigan.
Offensively, I think we're finding a trend here, Jared. All these teams we're like moving down or talking about have offensive issues. Same thing with the Cheaters up north team. They have offensive issues, whether it's the coordinator, whether it's just, I don't know. That Oklahoma game was just terribly offensively for the Wolverines, and Oklahoma just kept them in it. Like, they made dumb penalties, dumb turnovers, dumb decisions to keep them in. Like, Oklahoma should have put that game away. So credit to the Wolverines for their defense keep them in the game, but offensively they're a mess right now. So yeah, putting them down to C tier, I would agree.
Okay. That's it for the tier list.
All right, awesome. All right, and with that, we'll take our first ad break. TheSloopcast.com is your go-to link, anything and everything Sloopcast related. Here you can find our Patreon page, patreon.thesloopcast.com, Discord page, YouTube, merch, 7071, Spotify, and much, much more. You can find all of those links and more over at thesloopcast.com. We'll take our ad break real quick and be right back for some SlooPicks.
All right. Kyle, it is time to do our SlooPicks, but real quick before we do that, last week, I win the week in the show SlooPicks. I had 5 correct answers. You had 4 correct answers, and our guest picker, Suncard, had just 1. Our web picks winner of our online CBS web picks was Spikes, who is frequently down in the chat during the live shows. So that's our current standing.
All right.
All right. Now let's get to our picks.
All right, let's kick them off here. Georgia Tech, first game, noon in Atlanta, taking on Clemson, where Clemson is a 4.5 point favorite. I'll go ahead and start us off here, Jared. Let me go to my page, make sure I'm saying them right. Yes. Briefly mentioned before the ad, offensively, I think Clemson's struggling. Defensively, I think Clemson has a really, really good defense, but man, their offense, I don't feel very confident about. You put up 27 points against Troy. You put up 10 points against LSU. Yeah, but LSU, a good team, understand, but looking at those numbers, like Clemson's got to find an identity. Maybe they'll do it in this game here, but it is in Atlanta, and I like Georgia Tech to cover in this one, Jared. I really did. I just don't trust Clemson on the road and trying to put together a well-rounded game. I think this is going to be just a dogfight and may come down to the last possession here. So I'll take the Yellow Jackets to cover.
Yeah, I've just even when Clemson has been the better team, they've not shown it as far as like a point. Like, they're playing teams close is kind of what Clemson looks like to me right now. So even if they end up winning like in a way that feels comfortable. I don't necessarily think that's going to translate to a lot of points. So I agree. I'm gonna take Georgia Tech as well.
All right. All right. Next game here, we got Wisconsin traveling down to Tuscaloosa to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Noon kickoff, and Alabama is a 20.5 point favorite.
And Kyle?
It's a lot of points. Yes,
and
sir?
Kyle? That is not enough.
I agree. I agree. That is not enough. The 2025 season trend here, offensively, Wisconsin is a mess.
They're not that great. They're not that great defensively either.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, they shut out Miami. Yes, they only let up 10 points to Middle Tennessee, but
I'm sorry, who?
Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly.
The Blue Raiders. You don't know about Middle Tennessee?
No, I do. I'm emphasizing the point that they allowed Middle Tennessee to score 10 points on them.
Okay.
But no, you're right. Yeah, it's mostly an offensive issue with
Alabama,
Wisconsin.
Like playing at home. If, again, taking who Alabama played last weekend, but if for what we saw offensively, what Alabama did last weekend, putting up 73 points to a team that they should be putting up 73 points on.
Yeah.
This might be a long game.
And it needs to be said.
Fickles.
It needs to be said that we don't really know how to contextualize the Florida State loss yet. Because both Alabama and Florida State have played each other and a cupcake.
Yeah.
So is Florida State much better than expected? Is Alabama much worse than expected? Somewhere in between. We don't really know how to contextualize that loss yet.
Yep. All right. Next game here. This is probably maybe the game of the week here. Georgia and Tennessee. 3:30 kickoff. And Georgia on the road is a 4.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
I believe it is my pick here. Let me just go to my notes real quick here. I know I mentioned earlier Georgia's been struggling offensively. Tennessee's just been putting up a ton of points, again with lesser opponents.
But pretty bad teams.
Yeah, pretty bad teams, but they're putting away teams that they should, versus like Georgia's kind of struggling. They're just getting by with by the teams that they're playing here. I think kind of like the Georgia Tech Clemson game. I think this is going to be a dogfight. At home here, Tennessee feels really, really good about their quarterback, and I think I'll take the points here. I'll take the Volunteers here. 4.5 points. Yeah. Even if Georgia wins by a field goal here, yeah, I'll take Tennessee.
Yeah. Here's a trend I've noticed about Georgia for the past couple years, and will it continue this season? We don't necessarily know. But for the past couple years, Georgia has incredibly underperformed against bad teams, but when it came time to play a big opponent, they always kind of turned it up a notch. And that's been a pattern of theirs for the past couple years. I'm gonna take a bit of a gamble here and assume that pattern continues, and I'm gonna take Georgia even while giving up 4.5 points.
Okay. All right. Another Florida on Florida.
This is my game
matchup here.
This is my game of the week.
Miami and South Florida. South Florida looking to knock off their third ranked opponent for the year. Just Just think about that. They've already knocked off all 2 of their opponents so far this year.
Who were ranked in the top 25.
They were, yeah. So Miami in this game, Jared, 4:30 kickoff, is a 16.5 point favorite. 16.5. And Jared.
Yeah.
Well, it is your pick, but go ahead.
I'm gonna ride the hot hand. I'm gonna ride the hot hand. Give me the Bulls. It feels it also like Miami's just one of those teams that's perpetually back but not. I'll acknowledge Texas is actually back. USC, however, Miami.
What have they won so far?
They were legitimately the second best team in college football last year.
I mean, you know what I mean, but go on.
I get it. But yeah, it's Miami always feels like Miami's always really highly ranked at the beginning of the year and then slip. Why not this week? Why not South Florida after they've already knocked off 2 ranked teams? Why not if you're giving me 16.5 points?
Yeah, why not? I'll take the Bulls as well too. Just imagine if we were betting at the current spread right now, Jared. So right now when CBS locked it in, it was 16.5.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the spread, Jared, it's 18.5.
A lot of money must have come in on South Florida. Nope, other way around. A lot of money must have come in on Miami.
I'd feel a lot more comfortable with 18.5, but 16.5, sure. Let's roll the die. Let's roll the dice on one more time with South Florida.
All right, Kyle. We need these next 3 pretty quickly.
Sure. Notre Dame and Texas A&M is our next one. Notre Dame, 6.5 point favorite. It is my pick here. I think Notre Dame had just a bad timing for them. They lose their first game. They have a bye week, so they have a lot to plan for this Texas A&M game. I think they're going to come out and just dominate. I think Notre Dame defensively really good. I think they're going to have a good game plan. They have 2 weeks of prep here. I'll take Notre Dame to cover.
I don't feel like I know who either of these teams are yet. They're obviously both very talented, but I don't feel like I have a good feel for either of them yet. So I'm gonna take the underdog. Give me the Aggies.
Okay. All right, and the last one for today's show is LSU and Florida. Florida heading on over to Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. LSU is a 9.5 point favorite. Who do you got, Jared?
9.5 points. Okay, so once again, I kind of talk about with Alabama and Florida State how we really don't know how to contextualize that game yet. Kind of feel like the same thing for Florida. What if South Florida actually is just really good? What if? What if that was a very close game against a very good team? I again, I don't really know how to contextualize that yet. So 9.5 points. I still don't trust Brian Kelly all that much. I'm gonna go with Florida.
I don't trust Florida. I think they have a lot of.
I don't trust Florida either, but I trust 9.5.
I'm going to go with the home team. I'll go with the home team on this one. When in doubt, pick the quarterback. I'll take LSU to cover in this one.
Fair enough. Now, Kyle, 0 details because we'll cover that in the next show. 1-word answer. Ohio State minus 32.5 against Ohio. 1-word answer. Who's your pick?
Brutus.
And now I guess I'll go with Buckeye. All right.
All right. And quickly, Jared, our Chaos Theory pick as we are running out of time here. I got some points last week with my pick of Mississippi State with the upset. Duke was close. Iowa was close, but yeah, there was a lot of close ones this last weekend. So, who do you got, Jared, for this week?
I don't have a ton of confidence that this team's going to pull it off, but the point value is insane if they do.
Sure.
And LSU's ranked number 3. So what does that equal as far as points goes? Is that 22?
It'll be 23.
Yeah, 23. So again, I think there are more. I think there are more. I do. But that's a huge point total.
Mm-hmm. All right. For me, for 14 points, Jared, I'm going to take the Yellow Jackets and upset in Atlanta over Clemson.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I was talking about that I think is more likely to hit. Yeah. Kyle going with a 14 again worked for you last week.
It did, yeah.
All right. And if you don't know, Chaos Theory is you have to pick an unranked team to defeat a ranked team. And your point, the higher the ranked team is, the more your points are, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the game we play. And that is it. Do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
I do not for this episode here, since we're running a little long here. We'll just go ahead and end it there.
All right. So tonight's ending music will be brought to you by a band called Ghost Stories. The name of this song is Loose Leaves. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beers and local beers. Once again, this is Loose Leaves.